Hey everyone! So this week's video focuses on simple steps that can help you with meal planning for stress management. The reason meal planning and your nutrition is important is because your gut and the food you eat has so much to do with your mental health, your moods, how resilient you are to stress, how well you react to stress, has so much to do with your emotional regulation. So meal planning, meal prepping, and eating the right kind of foods doesn't just help you with your physical health, but it also makes a huge difference to your mental health. But often the complaint is, I don't have time to make this, or I don't really like to eat veggies, I don't like to eat that. So that's why I've put together this video that focuses on just some simple steps, 8 different steps that can help you get started on that meal prepping and starting to incorporate some healthier options in your diet. So before I dive into that, just a quick introduction. My name is Chaitni. I am a mindset and nutrition coach. I help clients cope with stress, depression, or anxiety through healthy habit formation, positive lifestyle changes, and proper nutrition. Every other week, I release a wellness-related video, so if that's something that interests you, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also send out bi-weekly blogs on self-care and self-love reminders, so if that's more of your jam, make sure to sign up for that. The link for that is in the description. And lastly, if you're looking for some more frequent updates on social media, you can follow me on Instagram. The handle is @imperfectbodies by CModi. So without further ado, let me get into the 8 steps that can help with meal planning for stress management. Okay, so step number 1 is to really understand the nutrients that can help you with stress management. So it's important to focus on the right macros. So you have your complex carbs, and these give you a steady stream of energy and they regulate your blood sugar levels. So there's no spike or dip in that and leading to unhealthy cravings or wanting those really sugary snacks. So complex carbs are the ones that take a little bit longer to digest, and they're great to give you that energy boost. And then you have protein. Protein is really important. It has tryptophan in it, and it helps with mood regulation. So if you experience any kind of anxiety, obviously stress, it can help regulate the mood there. The nice thing about protein is it also keeps you full longer. So again, it can play a role in that emotional eating or stress-related cravings that you might have. Lastly, healthy fats. They are extremely important. They reduce inflammation, and they're really great for your brain health, so you want to incorporate some nutrients that have to do with healthy fats. And I'll give you a little bit more details on each of these as the video continues. But just remember, these are some of the basics that you want to look for, and you also want to pay attention to the minerals and the vitamins. Magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin C. They all contribute to that stress reduction, and they all help you stay healthier, not just physically, but also mentally. So that's step number 1, is really understanding these nutrients and trying to figure out, which foods might fall under some of these different umbrellas. Step number 2 is define your meal planning goals. So obviously, the reason you want this balanced diet is so that you see a reduction in stress and you're able to better manage your anxiety. That is the overarching goal. But what are some of the small steps that you can start to take to reach that goal? What are some practices, some skills, and some actions that you can incorporate into your daily life that can make a difference and help you work towards that goal? Keep it simple. Keep it basic. This is really where you want to keep it basic when you're trying to build habits. So it could be something as simple as saying, you're gonna have 2 cups or 2 servings of fruits 3 days a week next week, and that's where you're going to start off. Or maybe your meal planning objective is you're gonna add a bit more protein into your diet. So maybe during the weeknights for dinner, you're at least going to have 1 serving of protein. Or it could be, starting to add one side vegetable that you really like, or maybe adding broccoli as a side instead of fries. So just swapping things out or adding things to your diet. So just start with something really small, something that you know you can do, and something that will help you continue this trend. So remember, the main goal obviously is stress reduction and anxiety reduction, but within that, what are some of those small steps that you can take that can help you achieve your goal? It's going to be different for everybody else. So pick what's going to work for you and just go with that. Step number three is plan a weekly menu. So again, if you are not going all in with that balanced diet, that is totally fine. And you pick one small behavior change that you want to make, just focus on planning that out. So let's just go with the example of adding more fruit to your diet. Well, get specific. Which fruits do you want to experiment with? When will you go buy those fruits? You need to add them to your shopping list. When will you have the fruits? Is it going to be that mid-afternoon snack, or is it going to be when you're craving something a little bit sweet after your meal, or is it going to be during breakfast in the morning? When are you going to consume that fruit? Where are you going to have it? Is it going to be at home? Are you going to pack it in your lunchbox and take it to work or take it to school? Where exactly are you going to be eating that fruit? And then obviously, which fruits are you going to be eating? So the devil really is in the details, and the more specific you get and the more you plan it out in your head, the easier it gets to make sure that this goal that you've developed for yourself, you actually achieve it. Because when you just set what you want to do, which is eat more fruit, it's very vague. You don't have any of the steps set out. You don't know, you're not even able to measure it. So okay, how much fruit are you going to have? Yeah, you want to have more fruit, but is it going to be 1 serving size, 2? What exactly are you shooting for here, and which fruits do you want to eat? So, and again, how do you want to eat that fruit? Do you want to have it whole fruit? Do you want to have it pre-packaged? Is it going to be pre-cut? Is it going to be just an apple that you carry with you, or is it going to be something that you add to your smoothie? So you can see there's so many things out there. The more specific you get, the higher the likelihood of you achieving that goal. And again, this is not something you need to do week after week. Eventually, it just becomes second nature and becomes a habit. But at least initially, it really helps to plan everything out so you can actually achieve your goal. And I'm going to give you some examples of what I was talking about earlier with the macros, when it comes to the complex carbs, the healthy fats, and the protein. And how you can, just some meal examples with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just so you kind of get an idea of what I was talking about. So for example, for breakfast, you can have Greek yogurt with berries and a handful of nuts. Greek yogurt, that's your protein right there. Berries, those are your complex carbs, and then the nuts are your healthy fats. So you see how simple it is, and it's very enjoyable, if you enjoy yogurt. Greek yogurt does have more protein than just regular yogurt. That's why you want to go with Greek yogurt. But you're checking off so many boxes here. You're also getting your fruit intake. You're also getting, those healthy fats. You're getting some of that, some of the nuts, whether you're choosing almonds or walnuts or whatever it is that you like. So that's an example of a breakfast plan that includes complex carbs, protein, as well as healthy fats. For your lunch, you can try, if you're a vegetarian like myself, you could try maybe a quinoa salad with avocado. That's your healthy fat right there, the avocado. Add some mixed greens to it. Those are your complex carbs. And then you add a little bit of olive oil dressing, some salt and pepper. And there you go, you have your lunch prepared. You can always add lentils, you can add beans, you can add grilled chicken, you can add some of that lean meat into as your protein as well into your lunch. And then dinner is going to be something similar. Again, you can come up with, there could be grilled tofu, you can add some more mixed greens, you can add veggies, you can do sauteed vegetables, you can even do a stir fry. With a stir fry, you can get so creative, whether you're a vegetarian or not, you can add, whatever it is in terms of veggies, in terms of the whole grains, and just kind of go with it. And you can add mixed seeds to your salad as well. So lots of different ways that you can get the complex carbs carbs, the protein, and the healthy fats into your diet. Step number 4 is make a shopping list. How often do you just walk into the grocery store, like you walk into Trader Joe's and you pick up everything except what you intended to buy, or you get way more than what you intended to buy? So make a list. Sometimes you even go shopping and you come back and you're like, oh no, I forgot the main ingredient. So make that shopping list, and you can do this a couple of different ways. You can break it up by the meals that you're planning on making for the week. So let's say, you're gonna you cook some of that tofu, you're gonna make some stir fry, you're gonna have Greek yogurt in the mornings. Those are some of the things that you're gonna list out. So you can do it by meal, or you can even do it by the macros like I listed out earlier. Just remember that none of this is isolated. When you have complex carbs, you're not just having complex carbs. There are probably some protein in there and there's some healthy fats in there, and that applies to everything. So a lot of this overlaps, and that's okay. And that's why I prefer that you get your, your groceries based on the meal plans that you're making. But if you want to be a stickler and you want to be really specific with it, that's totally fine. Make a list of some items that would fall under the healthy fats category. Do the same thing with protein, and do the same thing with complex carbs. And that way, you're getting a little bit of everything, and then you can figure out which meal you want to make, or you decide on the meal and then break it down by the shopping list. But make that shopping list, because again, it's another step in meal planning, and it's a very crucial step. When you can walk into that grocery store prepared with your list, you know exactly what you want, it's a lot easier to just stick to that and not get everything else, that's typically not the healthiest, and put that in your shopping cart. Some examples of proteins are you have beans, you have lentils, tofu, Greek yogurt, eggs, chicken. And then when it comes to healthy fats, it's a lot of the nuts and seeds. It's also avocado, like I mentioned earlier. So all of that falls under the healthy fats category. When it's complex carbs, you go for whole wheat, it could be whole wheat bread, or you get some quinoa. You can even try, fruits and vegetables. Those would fall under complex carbs as well. So like broccoli, your leafy greens, getting some spinach, some kale. All of that would be under complex carbs. So that's everything. It just runs a gamut. Best thing to do is try to stick to whole foods as much as possible, and you will end up getting a lot of that protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats into your diet. Step number 5 is prep ahead of time. So this kind of builds on having that shopping list and getting your groceries. The next thing is, how do you start preparing for your meals? So what helps is trying to do batch cooking if that's something that suits you. And just to give you an example, I used to eat oatmeal for breakfast during the weekdays when I worked. So I would just batch prep it on Sundays in the Instant Pot, and I would keep it, and I was able to use that oatmeal on a daily basis. So I would just add whatever milk I wanted to it, and I would add, some of those nuts and seeds like I mentioned. And that's how I used to have oatmeal, because I didn't have time to, make oatmeal every single day. And that made my life a lot easier. So batch cooking is something you can consider, especially with beans and lentils. You can also try, portion sizing. So if you cook, let's say on a Sunday for a couple of hours, you get everything ready. You can just set the portions ready for your side, for your lunch, for your dinner, however you want to break it all up. So again, there's less thinking involved during the busier days of the week, and all you have to do is pull it out of the fridge and you're ready to go. Keep things really easy. Make them easy. Make them simple for yourself. Investing in your health it really is an investment. I know it can be expensive sometimes to get some of these foods, or to invest in like an Instant Pot or an air fryer, or a crock pot, but it makes your life a lot easier, and it's better to spend your money there than to spend it on something that's not necessarily an investment for your health. Maybe you skip Starbucks for a few days and you use that money towards your grocery shopping. Another way that you can make things easy for yourself is just buying frozen stuff. Whether it's frozen veggies, or even getting pre-cut veggies like pre-cut onions or pre-cut garlic, or even getting frozen fruits, like berries and strawberries. That is still a better option than eating processed food. So think of it that way. Even 1% better is better. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing approach. So make things as simple and as easy as you can for yourself. That's one of the best things that you can do when it comes to meal prepping. Step number 6 is stay hydrated. So yes, I know, energy drinks can be very tempting. Red Bull, soda, it may seem like a great pick-me-up in the afternoon or in the morning when you're on limited sleep, but it will actually make your stress worse and it will make your anxiety worse. So choose water as much as you can. You want to get about 2 to 3 liters of water. If you don't like the taste of water, that's okay. Infuse it with something that you do. It could be lemon water. You could infuse it with cucumber. You can also try herbal teas. They're another great option. So just get creative. I mean, there is so much out there that you can experiment with, but try to make it water-based and try to stick to water as much as you possibly can. Because that hydration, again, will also help with stress-related cravings. It will also help with your sleep. Having caffeine at a certain time or anything that's very high in sugar could interrupt your sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, your stress goes up. So everything is connected. So try and make sure that you are hydrated as much as possible. Step number 7 is practice mindful eating practices. So, a lot of times, especially for these working individuals and, even if you're not working and you just have a lot of responsibilities, food is the thing that takes the biggest hit. You scarf down your food in less than 5 minutes and then guess what? You're hungry in an hour. So mindful eating practices can make a huge, huge difference. Even if it's 5 minutes or if it's 10 minutes, take that time out for yourself. Set the distractions aside. I know it's tempting to watch TV and eat or to watch something on your phone. Just put it aside for 5 minutes, and for the next 5 minutes you can watch whatever you want. Again, baby steps, make small changes. So avoid those distractions. Try to eat socially if you can. If you are eating by yourself, that's fine too. Just eat slowly, really chew your food. Just as an experiment and for fun, the next time you have a meal, time yourself. You will barely even make it to the 5-minute mark. We eat our food way too quickly without registering what it tastes like, what it feels like, what it smells like. So indulge your senses. Eat slowly, maybe take a bite, you take a couple of deep breaths, you take another bite, take a couple of deep breaths. You don't need to do this for too long. Maybe you start with 5 minutes, you start with 10 minutes, and then you work your way up. But this is going to be one of the most important things that can help you with your stress management and your anxiety, because 1 is you become aware of what you're eating, 2 is you become aware of how much you're eating, 3 is you start to pay attention of how what you're eating is affecting you. And then number 4 is, you actually start to enjoy your meals. So practice those mindful eating practices. And then step number 8 is, keep in mind this is a cycle. So all the steps that I gave you, with meal planning, where it comes from figuring out the nutrients, which nutrients you want to focus on, coming up with small goals, going and actually getting the foods and making that shopping list, batch cooking or pre-cooking, all of that. It's an experiment, just like everything else in life. So there is an entire feedback loop. And step number 8 is evaluation. As you go through these different steps from 1 to 7, just because you do it for a couple of weeks doesn't mean you have to keep doing it. Just stop, pause, and ask yourself, okay, out of all this, what is working for me? What is not working for me? What are some things I want to change? How is this actually making me feel physically and mentally? Is it making a difference to my stress management? Is it making me sleep better? Is it helping with my emotional regulation? Do I want to keep trying this for a longer period of time? Obviously, give something sufficient time before you say no to it. But ask yourself these questions. The evaluation is just as important as the assessment and as actually going through the entire practice. Because with that evaluation, you figure out what's working, what's not, you tweak it, and you try it again. So just keep that in mind. And during the evaluation process, you know, if you need outside help, you get outside help. Maybe you get an accountability partner so the two of you can sit down together and figure out some of these things, you know, or you do a little bit more research and you decide to try something else for yourself. So step number 8 is just as crucial as any of the other steps. So I've given you plenty of steps, plenty of information when it comes to meal planning for stress management. This may seem like a lot, but once you start doing it, it's just one step that builds on top of the other. And, you know, initially it might feel like a little bit of a roadblock, but it doesn't take too long for it to become a habit. So as always, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you giving me your time and energy. I will catch you here very soon. In the meantime, take good care of yourself. Thanks.